5, 6, 7, 8. Welcome, everyone. This is the Smart and Public Podcast. I'm Katie Boyson.
And I'm Katie Jeffersey.
And this is the podcast that talks about careers, life, advice, business through the eyes of PR and comms industry. It's just us today. And how are you doing, Miss Duffy?
It's us. I always worry about these episodes where it's you and me. No, I'm good. I've been busy with
You've been
work.
traveling.
It's been a wild ride. Yeah, we just had some big events here. I've been in Japan. I'm heading back to Japan at the end of the year. So yeah, all good stuff. And actually, fun fact, I had someone email me this week through a connection who wanted to chat. And in the email was 5, 6, 7, 8.
That's so cute.
And I was like, no, here's a fan. But also it made me mortified that like real professional people are actually listening to our podcast. And he was a fan. He was a fan.
I love
We had
that.
a week. But yeah, I just thought I'd share that with you that literally 5, 6, 7, 8 has made it into an email.
Should we make 5, 6, 7, 8 like merch?
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like we need a
I feel
hat.
like I would wear it.
We need a t-shirt. And only we'll get it. And then if someone in the wild spots it and gets it, then we know. We're like, wow,
nothing would make me happier.
I reckon you would have a bigger chance. Like if you got some 5, 6, 7, 8 merch and were wandering around in like a big US city, I feel like you would definitely bump into someone.
I just feel like people get the general sense of what that is. Like it's a dance count-in, right? So people would either be like, "Oh, like are you a
She loves to
dancer?"
dance.
Or
Yeah, that's
you
true.
know,
Or a musician, or like, yeah, probably.
totally. Yeah. So I mean,
Versus like,
it's a
she
choose
must be a
your,
podcast host.
which obviously is what I look like on my day-to-day. Yeah.
Obviously. Yeah. But yeah, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Went to did my first trip to DC this week, which was great. Can I tell you I'm going to do my dumb and private just like right now because I have to tell you the funniest thing.
Yeah, throw it
I've
in.
been dying to tell you this. So I was at one of my clients had their annual general meeting, and I was talking to one of the investors at the night before drinks, and so we're chatting. And he's Canadian. I was like, hey, did you get a chance to go around DC? Have you seen any of the sites? And he was like, oh, well, I got in early, so I spent most of my day at the mall. And I was like, oh, sweet. I was like, shopping. What did you get? Did you get anything good? And he goes, no, I went to the National Mall. Like I went to the Lincoln Memorial and the White House.
Is that what it's called? I would have thought it was a show. I was like about to be like, hey, this is a guy after my own heart, like straight to the mall.
And I was just like, well, fuck me.
No, you could have just recovered and been like, oh no, I meant like at the gift shops of all those amazing places that you visited.
No, I went and just...
You went straight in. You were like, did you go to Nordstrom Rack? Were you at Saks Off Fifth? What did we buy?
And I really try to keep it together at these events. Like I do not come from money. Like I do. We're on the East Coast. It's just a different world, that investor world. And I can play it well, but sometimes it slips.
And
that was a slipperoo. Luckily he was nice about it and we had a laugh, but I was just like, damn it, Boyson.
Well, I would listen. I mean, I'm not American, so I don't have as much claim as you, but like I wouldn't have known that's what it was called. So, I mean, I feel like that's an easy mistake to make. I'm going to give you that. I mean, yeah, look, it is your nation's capital, not mine. So you should probably know more. But yeah.
I like to say that, like, listen, I didn't live here for 10 years. Like, I'm just back.
Yeah, that's a great one. I'm just back and I've forgotten what we call things.
And yeah, it wasn't half my life. Like, I'm not 20 and I spent 10 years away. Like, it was, I'm 40, almost 42.
It's true. So. You're a grown adult. But still, I think it's a good excuse. And to be fair, I don't know much about Canberra. I know a little bit more probably than.
You guys have a nickname for all your things? And by things, I mean like do you have a White House? Parliament?
Do you have a White House?
I forgot the other way now. Yes. I know nothing about
We have a White House. We just copied you guys. No, we have Parliament House. Yeah. And it has a big point on the top. And fun fact, Canberra was a purely designed city. It's fantastic. It works really well.
You know what? We went to Canberra together.
We did go to Canberra together. I was about to remind you. that you have been to Australia's capital.
You took
Uh,
me.
we took you like you were our child to show you the nation's capital, and we have a photo of you out the front of Parliament House.
And you have a photo of me in front of the US
Telstra Tower. Telstra Tower as well, remember?
Telstra Tower, and then also in front of the US consulate that looks like
Yes.
literally like a prison.
Yeah, and they look pretty like they were going to come out and like really get mad at us because you were like making funny faces and poses in front of the US consulate in Canberra. But yeah, great trip. Great
Oh
trip.
my God. Okay, let's get into it. Like nobody cares about what we do together.
Nobody cares that we took you to Canberra. Literally no one. Even we don't care.
I'm over it. So,
Yeah. Yeah, you've forgotten it.
all right, let's get into it. We wanted to do a couple of like just like a use case, a case study. How do we want to talk about this? A case study that's
Yeah.
happening over here. There's been, I don't know if anyone else has been following, but the Disney and YouTube TV dispute has been really interesting to me, mostly because like going to watch sports, particularly like Monday Night Football and things like that we watch on YouTube TV because Disney owns ESPN. Like Scotty hasn't been able to watch like sports properly, which is huge over here because it's like every night there's a different sport on. And now baseball's gone away and we kind of only have football. So like they're taking away our only joy at the moment.
So is there no other way to watch it? Or you
So-
have to have a subscription or something?
Yeah, so it's all subscription based. Like there's like the free to air situation is, I'm gonna say this wrong, and somebody please just correct me and tell me I'm an idiot. But like
I won't know the difference.
it's all like subscription based, and it's you can't just watch any game willy-nilly. Like it's all zoned to where you live and what sports channels you are, like what sports teams you get to watch. So for example, I live in Central Oregon, and San Francisco Giants, if I wanted to watch a baseball game, I don't always get to watch that because I'm not zoned to watch the Giants, which is crazy. And they do that because they want you to like upgrade on your subscription or anything and unlock that access. But then you end up paying like $250 a month for sports, you know? Anyway, so it's a big old scam. But here, let me just give you an overview of like what's happening. And for those listening along, sometimes I forget that people listen to this podcast. I feel like I'm just talking to you.
Yeah.
Let me just talk through the basic problem because I want us to like spitball a little bit on what this is looking like from a comms perspective as well. Because what this is really turning into is the question of what happens from a comms perspective when both behemoth companies on both sides go nuclear in public.
In public, yeah.
And
Okay.
so we've got smart in public and they go nuclear in public. So, okay, here's what's essentially is happening. So Disney programming, including ABC and ESPN, went dark on YouTube TV starting on October 30th. This affected 10 million subscribers, and they're fighting over how much YouTube TV should pay Disney for the right to carry their channels. So Disney's position is that it's offered YouTube TV terms that are fair and in line with more than 500 other distributors, including deals with Charter Communications and Comcast. They accuse YouTube TV of demanding preferential treatment and wanting rates lower than the other major distributors pay. So YouTube's position is YouTube TV is attempting to negotiate rates that are lower than the three largest pay TV distributors, which is Comcast, Charter, and DirecTV. And YouTube argues they deserve better rates because they're the only distributor of size that's actually growing. They may be number 3 today, but could be number 1 by the time of a 2 to 3 year contract ends.
Okay.
So the sticky issue is the primary issue is the price of ABC and not ESPN. So Disney argues that increased live sports inventory on ABC should mean higher rates, while distributors say this is double dipping since they already pay premium rates for ESPN, where the content is also available. So the most kind of favored nation problem that we're seeing is if Disney gives YouTube TV a lower rate, it would trigger most favored nation clauses in other contracts that would force Disney to give the same lower rate to Comcast, Charter, DirecTV, etc. Meaning Disney would take a huge revenue hit, like 68% of pay-in TV households. So that's what's happening. The current status is, as of today, that it's been 14 days with Disney CFO Hugh Johnson saying that they're ready to go as long as they want to.
Mm-hmm.
And the fallout is, so a Drive research survey found 24% of respondents have canceled or will cancel their YouTube TV subscriptions. YouTube TV is giving subscribers a $20 a month credit during the blackout. DirecTV reported a small lift in subscribers over the weekend as customers switch services. And why nobody is blacking down is because Disney has leverage, because ESPN has exclusive sports content with no free alternative. And YouTube TV has leverage because they're growing while cable TV is dying, and they can absorb losses as a part of a $3 trillion company, which is Google or Alphabet. So that's kind of the situation that we are in. What I found interesting as well is that Scotty has found a loophole. Some other smaller carriers are offering day passes for their subscriptions now. And so Scotty, if he really wants to watch a game, will go on one of those other carriers and pay like a $12 day pass
just to get that game or whatever.
Which is interesting, which is also very smart from a business perspective.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think why this matters to comms people and kind of what I'm thinking about as well is like, this isn't just like a carrier dispute. It's kind of a lesson in how not to communicate during a high stakes negotiation. So it's like these two behemoths are playing chicken with 10 million customers caught in the middle, and both sides are violating kind of like every crisis communication 101 rule, while someone's like maybe gonna win. We don't know.
I think what's interesting is like, it doesn't feel like either of them are putting their customer at the center of like what they're doing. It feels like they're both putting money, and you know, on both sides, it's one wanting to pay less, one wanting to get the right amount of money. But and then the fact that they're using the media to sort of slug insults, and the CFO from Disney coming out and saying like, we're willing to go as long as we need to.
Yeah.
I think is very interesting. Having said that, I think it's probably a strategy to do it all in public. And maybe that's because customers will get super frustrated and see it all, and then therefore force the issue a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels like it's almost intentional.
There have been, and that's a good shout, because there have been some intentional plays that have come into this as well, where it almost feels like one does an intentional leak. For example, so Disney Entertainment co-chairs Dana Walden and Alan Bergman joined with ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitero in sending an internal memo that leaked publicly, complaining that Google's YouTube TV has approached these negotiations as if they were the only player in the game. So like, is leaking your own internal memo to employees actually a genius PR tactic, or is it bad crisis management, like cosplaying as strategy? Really is what I have written down. Like, we all know that the internal memo leak can be very beneficial from a comms perspective.
Yeah, well, both. It can be really detrimental and really helpful sometimes. I think it depends on, and again, this is like me observing from the outside. If you're using that as a tool, an intentional tool, then that's somewhat clever, because there's some things that you can write in that you wouldn't necessarily write you wouldn't put a media release out about it,
right? But
you want that perspective out in the domain. So putting it in an internal memo feels like the media are getting something that they weren't going to get otherwise.
It also lets you control your narrative.
Yes, correct. And it's written as if you were writing it for the internal audience, and therefore you were a little bit. Now, I would almost guarantee that was an intentional. They knew that was going to leak, and they were kind of okay with that. I think it's different where it's like you genuinely are trying to write something to your internal audience, And
Yeah.
then you have an employee base that is disgruntled and starts leaking stuff that you really, really don't want leaked.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those examples are always really obvious, where it's something that they really, really didn't want leaked.
Totally.
Like, emails between like Epstein and Trump, maybe, like something like that.
Dude, have you been reading any of those?
I mean, that's a whole episode in itself.
Oh my
But
God. I was reading those like like when you're in bed on your laptop and it's like on
yeah,
your chest and you're just scrolling like a
yeah,
little
yeah.
gopher. Like I
Like
was
just
doing that
pop
for like
on.
2 hours.
This, yes, wild. But that's what I mean. So that's probably not intentional, but like this one feels like they are in a war room
Mm-hmm.
and really trying to think of kind of aggressive and different ways to force the hand of the other party on both sides.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, what about this idea of like performative public interest? So one other thing that Disney asked YouTube TV to restore ABC for Election Day as a matter of public interest. So like YouTube rejected it, saying it would cause customer confusion. So like when you try to weaponize public interest in your favor, does it make you look like
Yeah.
a hero, or does it make do people read through that? Like, can they see that that's like what they're trying to do? Especially when you're like this many days into it. 'Cause
Yeah, and I
Election
feel
Day
like if
was
you really cared about public interest, you would find a negotiating point and
100%.
like meet in the middle somewhere and like I don't know that either of them are acting in the public interest. But I think it's a smart thing to play on because I think most people would agree that should be fair access on a day like that, right? And so it's hard to argue with them against that argument, if you know what I mean. Like it's hard to say, oh no, they shouldn't have to do that. Like most people would be like, yeah, that seems fair. I mean, power to YouTube for just like not agreeing to do it.
You know what? Like that's the other thing is you've got Disney and then you've got Google/YouTube. Like
Yeah.
these are two companies that have never had to back down because they were the big
No.
dog in any kind
Yeah.
of like legal or, financial dispute. And so like what happens when it's these two huge companies that go head to head for the first
Yeah.
time and money is not an object? And they
Money's
obviously have
not.
shown
No.
that they do not give a shit about their customer, right?
No, neither, I
Yeah.
think. And time will tell how that plays out, I think, for either of them. If I think about who has more like affectionate brand equity, it's probably Disney. Because you've got whole generations of people who've grown up with Disney and associate whatever they want with that word, right? Whatever that means to them, going to Disneyland, watching Disney shows, watching Disney movies. And Disney's so much more than that now, but I think people still kind of see it as like Disney.
Yeah.
So I think they've got some level of like affectionate brand equity. I think YouTube has similar in the sense that it has a whole generation of people that have grown up with YouTube and it has created people's whole, careers, jobs, lives, all of that stuff. So they both have really interesting, and then Google, I guess, just has permeated everybody's lives for so long.
YouTube TV has changed the way that I watch TV. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty much like my main TV channel, like, or my TV platform now.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think like that's the other thing is like people that have like Google Home and like connected homes.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah. All of that kind of stuff
Yeah.
is tied into it as well.
Yep. No, that's yeah. So I think it's really interesting because they both come with this like power, and then it's like, okay, who's going to yield, and what does that yield cost either side? So to the point of Disney, like if they yield, they're going to have to yield to a lot of people and
Yeah.
lower prices, which is a financial blow, but probably not a brand blow. I think if YouTube met them in the middle, the customers would probably be more supportive. Like it's kind of hard to see who really wins out of this one, depending on, I guess in general as well, it's like an overall comment on paying for content. And this has been an ongoing battle across these like traditional whether it's in the TV space or in the newspaper space, you know, asking Facebook to pay to the news outlets when it runs news, you know, all of that stuff has been going on for a while. This feels like another version of that, of like, here's this new player, and it's not that new, but as in, it's not a traditional media house, and they're seeking lower cost.
Yeah. Well, I guess let me ask you this. So like there's kind of this corporate versus corporate communications chess match that is happening. So I guess the question I have around like that is, when both sides have nuclear options, what does winning even look like from a communications perspective? Because like this is a rare situation where neither side has obvious leverage, right? Like Disney has ESPN, there's no free alternative. YouTube TV is growing while cable dies. Both can absorb short-term losses. And Disney CFO says that they're ready to go as long as they want to. Like, what, as a comms person, do you like, are your hands tied? How do you get creative in this situation? Like, I guess the first thing that you should be thinking about is, how do you keep your employees from like losing their mind? And then externally, how do we think about making sure our customers doesn't think that we're just a bunch of bullshitters? Or is that too late?
I actually think there's like, well, for the most part, you won't be the one deciding where this goes.
That's what I mean. Like, what control do we have?
Yeah, I would say your control is to be in the room.
Yeah.
As the negotiations progress, to understand where the company, like having a really tight alignment with the C-suite on, like, if the CFO is saying publicly that we're willing to, like, what does that actually mean from a business perspective? How long could this go on? Do we need to be having a comms environment that this could be happening for months? Or is it, you know, behind closed doors, are we going to resolve it within a couple of weeks? So we just have to write it out so I think as a comms team, I'd be looking at all of that and saying, like, I need to be in lockstep with the negotiators, with the CFO, with whoever's, you know, in that room making those decisions, because all of those decisions on how long we go, where we land, because the other comms element of all this is like, whoever gives up could be seen as the one that folded, right? So how do you manage that message? And there's a positive way, like if you're the one that breaks the stalemate and takes a compromise, be ready to message that to the customers. Like, we were willing to put you first.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Yeah, exactly.
So I think like having a sense of, how do we own that narrative if we're the ones that are going to give up? If we're not the ones that are going to give up and we think we can reach, or there's a middle ground or there's some other message, then I think you need to work through that. The other thing I would be looking at is, if I was a comms person from one of the other, like not YouTube TV, I would be aggressively thinking about, how do we capitalize on this moment, not just as a comms team, but as a marketing team probably as well. Day passes is interesting, like, but what else could, you know, like, is there some sort of level of like, well, those two fight it out, like we're over here offering value? Like, I don't know. I would just be thinking about that as them, because if this is going to drag out, maybe there's an opportunity to raise your brand value.
I mean, if we were in Australia, there would be an obvious play on, you know, if you were one of the other carriers that weren't a part of this, you could get Michael Bradbury in to be your spokesperson, and you just like Bradbury to win the ratings.
Stephen Bradbury, the skater?
Stephen Bradbury.
I think that's his name. We probably could have both got it wrong. Let me just context.
Yeah.
We had a speed skater in the Winter Olympics at some point, probably a few Winter Olympics ago now. And listen, Australians are not winter sport experts. We're okay. We're not great. We're better at some
Scotty from
we've got some good ones. We've got some aerial skiers. We've got some snowboarders. We're not too bad. But let's just say we've not necessarily got a history in winning speed skating.
Sure. Yeah, no curling medals for you.
As they line up, everyone gets ready for the race. Off they go on their speed skate, and literally everyone falls down except the Australian who, like, because he was last, skates right on past to win a medal. Brilliant.
His name was Stephen/Michael Bradbury.
Yeah, Stephen/Michael Bradbury. Which I'm not even sure that's either. Anyway, but point being, comms-wise, yes, like as those two duke it out, like let us skate on by and like
Yeah.
get so I just think there's multiple opportunities there. But yeah, if I was at Disney or YouTube, I would be really thinking about when this does end, how's it going to end?
Yeah.
And where do we want our position to be within that? And then trying to influence maybe how that decision gets made in terms of how that's going to impact our brand. But like realistically, we all know this is a negotiation. This is like lawyer against lawyer, CFO against CFO. Like
Yeah.
it's not going to be a comms team person that decides that, but you hopefully have a voice in saying like, guys, if this drags on for another 3 months, like here's what the impact's going to be. Or,
Yeah.
but do I think ultimately this is going to damage either of them long term? No.
No.
Probably.
No. Let me ask you this. Is there such thing as too transparent in corporate negotiations?
Probably. But I also think it's a strategy.
I think it's a strategy, but I also just think that people are so annoyed because they can't watch their like football team that like they don't care about your memo leaking. Like they just want their TV to work.
Yeah, the everyday person, in fact, the everyday person is probably like, you are all just rich idiots.
Totally.
Who have too much money anyway. Mm-hmm. And you won't even compromise so I can just watch football when I want to watch football.
And also like the regular American people that want to watch these sports games. That didn't come out of
Is it
my
just
mouth.
sports or is it other stuff affected as well?
The only thing, okay, hold on. Here's
what
here's what my notes say. It is people are missing Monday Night Football, college football playoffs, etc. So essentially America's pastime. Like,
Yeah.
and you know what? Like tensions are high in this country right now.
Yeah.
People are super unhappy. They're struggling. The last thing they need is their vice taken away from them.
Yeah, and I think it feels like everybody's lost sight of like the customer in all of this. And
10 million customers.
yeah, 10 million, exactly.
That's
And
almost
like,
half the population of Australia.
yeah, exactly. I just think, yeah, they've lost sight of the customer, and that may have impacts if this goes on too much longer. That's the thing. I think they can ride it out for a little while, but to your point, like I don't think people are going to sit around and wait for much longer, and I don't think they care that you can't reach an agreement. Like I think people don't understand that the money side of it, of like they just think, well, why can't you just make it meet in the middle? You think this, you think this, meet in the middle.
Yeah, they're going to need to do some like real Bud Light style kind of like Americana commercials once they come back to get everybody back on board.
Yeah, or like once a deal is done, like, you know, maybe I mean, I think the $20 thing that YouTube's doing is not bad.
Is $20 enough though? Like,
not enough, but it's at least a recognition that you're inconvenienced by this negotiation.
You know what could be beneficial though is that like it might get people out of their homes into a bar to go watch it on DirecTV.
Hey, all the bars in town, also an opportunity.
Yeah, there's an opportunity for you right there.
Absolutely. If you're like a cool sports bar and you want to, you know, target all these people that now can no longer watch college games, like
I also think on the flip side of it, like there could be an angle of, and I mean, listen, as a YouTube TV customer, this is not how I think. Like, I also do not think that like any corporation, especially after like being laid off from a huge company, like I don't think any corporation is fighting for me. Like no one gives a shit about me. But
they care about your money.
Yeah. One lesson you could like take away is maybe sometimes customers will tolerate being a hostage if they believe you're fighting for them. But
yeah, because if it means YouTube gets a cheaper rate from Disney, which means your rate doesn't go up, then you kind of want them to fight Disney, right?
Right.
And I think the other thing is like, don't underestimate, like we did see with the Jimmy Fallon stuff, the customers do influence decisions because heaps of people left the platform, heaps of people voted with that, with their credit card on that front, and they very quickly reversed their decision. Now, there's probably a number of reasons they reversed their decision, but that departure of customers was absolutely one of them.
Yeah.
So I think there is an element of if this goes on a bit too long, customers will start to demonstrate that that is not going to fly with them.
Yeah. I think
They'll
you're
go to
right.
other carriers or they'll find a way to express that. But to your point, I think customers are willing to sit with it for a little bit if they think it's maybe going to deliver value for them.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's like it's you almost just feel like it's just egos in a room that can't. But I mean, I don't know anything about like
I'm sure.
negotiating deals, so like I'm not.
Neither do I. I feel like with the US government shutdown and then also with like this kind of stuff happening, I just feel like the people have been lost somewhere along the way. Like, I'm just so tired of like people swinging their dicks at each other and then like, you know, the common man is
Yeah.
paying the price for it.
Well, listen, if they were smart and if the comms team had influence, you would think that someone would try and emerge as the hero that solved it.
Right.
Like one of them, one of the sides, we compromised because although it's not the outcome we wanted and it's not what we were fighting for, we recognize that there's more important things in the world
Right.
and than a dollar. And our customers are really important to us and they're mad. They want to watch football. Like there's an opportunity there on either side, maybe.
Yeah.
But I just think they're so caught up in like the flow on of like the decision that gets made and what that means. And they have to be like part of that is their business is to be thoughtful about these decisions. But I just think they've missed an opportunity now that it's going on. Like if I'm the CFO saying we're willing to wait it out, it's like that just makes you feel like makes me feel like they have more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah. I also think like put your business hat on. Like your job as a C-level executive at that company is to protect the brand and do what's right by the brand. And by that I mean make money. And
Yeah.
so they're following
Yeah.
their value and their mission, and that is totally fine. It's just like, as somebody, if it's not that person, you're just like, bleh.
Yeah. And part of me is like, for so long, some of these newer media, like Google, or when you want to talk about Facebook and Meta, like for so long, they have not paid for content in the way that they should.
Yeah.
So I kind of also feel strongly that, Disney has a right to say this is what our content is worth. And if you want it, you need to pay for it like everybody else, like as in the other carriers. I understand YouTube's position as well, but I think there's merit on both sides. And to your point, both of the roles of those companies in this negotiation is to get the best deal possible for the company from a money perspective,
Yeah.
while hopefully not losing too many customers. It's kind of this balance.
Yeah.
And so it'll be interesting to see how long it plays out and what goes on from here.
Well, I'll keep you updated.
I mean, please do. It's not getting a ton of coverage in Australia.
I feel like maybe not a lot of people know about this except for me because Scotty and I are just like,
You're living it. You are literally you
guys,
are the customer.
I don't know, like I don't think I come off this super sporty, like especially because I'm wearing a different baseball team hat every single time we have an episode. But like I really like watching sports. So it's therapeutic for me. And so like can we just get our shit together so that I can
Yeah, this is a PSA from one customer. You just did this episode so that we could
literally
single-handedly influence
I'm
YouTube
gonna,
and Disney.
I'm gonna email this customer to somebody somewhere.
Yes. You mean this episode?
What did I say?
You said I'm going to email this customer, but I mean, sure.
God. Yeah,
Yeah, I think you should post this, email it, put it everywhere as from one YouTube TV customer to these two big behemoths. Get your shit together.
Get your shit together. What else is top of mind for you? Like, should we dive into anything else? Okay.
I feel like there's so many episodes that I have like boiling away in my head. Definitely at some point, and we were talking about this offline, and I'm not going to bring it in to this episode, but I think we should do a Sydney Sweeney episode. Mainly around like her brand. Like do it as if she's a brand.
Ooh, I like that idea. Oh,
Yeah, like,
we could do
where's it going? Is it going up? Is it going down? How do we feel about her as a brand? Like
Mhm.
the I just have so many opinions, and there was an article today in the Sydney Morning Herald about her. Um, it's obviously the big controversial ad, like there's all that stuff, but I just think that would be a really, so maybe if anyone wants to come on as a guest for that one,
Gosh.
maybe write in.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't have to tackle that ourselves. If anyone feels very strongly about Sydney Sweeney,
Or if anyone does like publicity for celebrities.
yeah, like something a bit more like in that, because that's not really our world. So
No.
but yeah, that's actually a guest I would love to have. And I would love people to like suggest people, but like anyone that is like a publicist that deals with, and we don't have to talk about them, but like has dealt with or is dealing with high end
Yeah.
celebrities, what brand deals they accept, what brand deals they don't accept, how do you
Hmm.
manage a brand deal, just all of that really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Would love that, but I don't have anyone in my network
Yeah. I would
currently.
also love like a government affairs person to come on,
Oh, that's a good one.
but
Yeah,
you know.
especially like I feel like having someone on in this current state in America might be too traumatic.
Having spent time at the mall recently, you guys.
The mall. Yes, yes. You're now a DC aficionado.
Yeah, I did not leave the Four Seasons to be clear. So
Oh, Four Seasons. Look at you.
I mean, it sounds nice in theory, but it's like one of those things where people are like, I'm going to Vegas for work, and then you don't leave the conference center. Like that's how I
Yeah.
feel. Yeah, that's how
Yeah,
it
yeah.
was.
I feel like that's a lot of work trips is people think it's like quite glamorous, but it's actually
Yeah.
you're usually,
Although
in a ballroom of a hotel or somewhere like that.
I did have the night to myself after the event, which was really nice. And so I walked down the street and went to a pizza place that had really good reviews and ate an entire pizza by myself at the bar, literally. And then,
Well done it.
yeah. And then the old coach for Duke, God, I can't remember his name now. He was being like abducted into his like Hall of Fame or whatever at his university. And I was watching it on,
Did you say abducted? Abducted?
oh, fuck, what is it?
Inducted?
Shit.
I was like, he was abducted?
Coach K. He
I
was
was like, that's a
abducted.
horrible story.
No, he was inducted to the Hall of Fame. Oh my God. This episode is killing it.
I'm loving it.
And so, of course, like I'm crying while I'm eating this pizza at the bar because I'm so touched because his daughter was with him too and she was crying. And so
You
while
were
I'm
crying.
crying, they're crying.
Ah.
And then I
Was
got a
this on the
free
TV?
dessert.
You were
Huh?
just watching. You were just
Yeah,
watching the
no
TV.
audio even. I was literally just reading the subtitles or the closed captions and watching it happen on TV while I was at the bar and I was eating a pizza by myself.
Side note: why are we way more emotional when we travel?
I think it's like I don't know.
I don't know, but I feel like I cry on planes a lot
Yeah,
in things that I would never cry at home.
scary movies make me cry on planes. Like I
Oh,
get
yeah.
emotional for the person that is like running through the forest from a murderer.
I honestly get emotional at the Qantas ad.
Oh
Like,
yeah, the Qantas ad makes me cry
yeah,
every
I mean,
time.
it gets you every time.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just a weird. Like, I feel like I'm a way more emotional. But it's not because I'm away from home. I just think it's just some weird like
Yeah.
tired travel thing.
Uh-huh. I watched
Yeah.
Atonement on the plane.
Oh, yeah,
Terrible
that's awesome.
idea.
That's
Terrible idea.
I love that movie though. Just
Yeah.
side note.
Oh, 10 out of
Atonement's one of
10.
my favorite
That's a great
movies.
movie.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay, we should go.
sidetrack. You got to do the outro. You always do the outro.
Okay, you guys, if you please, first and foremostly, like be nice to us.
Yeah.
But sometimes we like to do these case study episodes. If you have a topic or a case study you'd like for us to dive into, like we record these on a Thursday US time and release them on Wednesdays or Thursdays the next week US time. So like we're pretty current. So if you guys want to just shoot us one willy-nilly last minute, like we might even pick it up. We would love that. And if you want to join, let us know too. It's at hello@smartandpublicpod.com. You can email us or you can find us on TikTok. Obviously, I don't know if you care, but like I started a Twitter account for us. So like
Listen, I
I
think you'll find
tagged
it's cool.
I haven't seen you on I haven't seen you on X in a long time. Okay. Anyway, thanks. Follow us. We're gonna go.
Bye.